Welcome to Sunrise. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joke Rogers, and I have here with me, looking splendid in blue.
I should be blushing, actually.
Don't blush.
Yes.
You're too dark for that.
Who says?
I do.
I can blush it the way I like. Anyway, good morning and welcome. I'm Ayo Makinde. Hope you've had an extremely interesting week. Well, as one of my colleagues put it, it's been a very intense week, and a whole load of stuff, have happened in the course of that 1 week. And there are those who think that the high point is the judgment, the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. But then there are those who would also point to the PDP intra-party opposition drama. Then there are those who would also point to the U.S. Congress congressional hearing on Nigeria, and a whole load of other things. And of course, the insecurity issues, the abductions, in various parts of the country. And I really don't know where to begin in all of this.
Honestly, I just got off a group chat in my children's school, and parents are panicking. Let's close the school. What are they learning? A whole lot of things, and I'm like, let's stay calm. Like, I'm a media practitioner, and of course there's so many reports out there, but let's just stay calm. Like, panicking will not do much for us. Let's just, a lot of these things happen in remote areas, and of course, when parents do these things, they call attention to themselves and they call attention to the school. And where people are not thinking negative, whatever, they may just open their eyes and say, oh, okay, let's see. So it's very funny. But, I think a lot of things are happening across the north, and I don't know, what the government is going to do at this time. I think it's back to back. It's so back to back, and
there are those who would also let you know, Joke, that it's like some kind of wave. Usually what you would call a pre-election wave.
Yes.
And just the moment they say, okay, we're going into the elections, it all goes down. And it sends certain signals to me. Now, another thing that I think we should be concerned about is the rhetoric coming from respected, or rather, let me say, vocal people in the country. Here's what I mean. In the wake of the announcement by the US government about, Nigeria, genocide and all, well, we may be having conversations around the real meaning of genocide and all of that. But what is concerning for me, Joke, what has always been concerning, is whether or not we are united in this whole thing. When you listen to certain political party leaders, you listen to certain individuals, and you're wondering, is this the kind of thing we should be saying now?
Yeah.
So when you hear, for instance, the chairman of the PDP, vocally, shouting that the U.S. government should come
and intervene save Nigeria's democracy, I'm wondering,
how does that make any sense? Now, on the one hand, there are the security agents, security analysts, consultants, practitioners generally say that the issues happening in the north are more economic than political or religious. Is that a fact? Now, when you kidnap some people, the whole idea is to get money from them. Now, we also understand, the good comments that are coming from there are comments anyway, coming from other, leaders. The governor of Benue State, for instance, said, look, if there was genocide in Nigeria, at the scale that people are talking about it, I would be the first to make noise, because I'm not just a politician, I'm a religious leader in the country. And so when we hear politicians making, stuff like that, we walked ourselves into this, and then you're wondering, look, this thing started many years ago. APC was not always in government. And some of the issues we are talking about here, I even read some comments that referenced Metatini. Metatini happened under a military government. So what exactly are we talk, can we all, this is why I always say, Joke, we need to have a national position. This is where Nigeria is going. This is where and consequently our education should be going in that direction, our health should be going in that direction, our economy should be going in that direction, but we seem to be all discordant. So imagine some people writing to the US government and saying, you know, we need help in this area, we need help in that area. All of these things add up. I saw a post reposted, well, I don't know whether it was copied or whatever, by Malam Nasir El-Rufai. And it says that invasions don't just start with guns and bullets. They start with narratives, and the narratives have begun. Are we contributing to that narrative, or are we abstaining? Are we rallying our supporters and influences away from these things? We ought to be careful.
Certainly. We ought to be careful. Honestly, it's really mind-boggling how, you know, a lot of people, as you said, don't, you know, they just open their mouths and talk. They don't think on what they're saying, the consequences of what they're saying, how far-reaching it's going to be. And the fact that people look up to these people, people in the place of power, or people who have vast influence in their circle, so they tend to believe it, and that's what happened during the judgment of Nnamdi Kanu. While some of his, you know, supporters at the end of the sentencing said that it's unfair, that they've not really caught him actually committing any action himself, but that's because of the things he was saying. Is why they convicted him, you know, of terrorism and, you know, the life imprisonment that he was given, that he didn't commit. But really, you spoke to people to commit those, so that's conspiracy to whatever.
Won't go far.
Just say.
On what ground was Chief Obafemi Awolowo sentenced to prison for treason? Did he carry a gun?
Exactly.
It was always about narratives. And let's be real, let's be honest with ourselves. Again, I say, I will blame any government, federal, state, local, whatever, that you are not giving Nigerians a sense of direction. Give us an idea of where we are going as a people, and then we might also just line up. But it also reminds me of one of the comments, you know, that has been made over time by politicians in opposition parties, saying it is the fault of the ruling party that they are fighting. And I'm like, okay, so my wife and I are having a problem, and it is the fault of the third party. I mean, I'm trying to make sense of it. So you guys don't have a united front. You guys can't say, okay, well, let's agree this is the direction we're going. It's an all-comers affair. Anyone can join any political party, move from one place to the other at whim, at whatever, and you are saying that it is the fault of another. Come on. Well, maybe I'm being simplistic. Maybe I'm just being simplistic about the whole
Oh, my goodness.
So what are we talking about today?
Of course, some of those things that we've mentioned earlier, the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu, of course, the befores and the afters, in betweens, and, you know, everything that transpired, really. I'm
actually concerned about the implications.
And the reaction. You know that the prosecuting counsel, led by Chief Umolo, they actually asked for death sentence for, I think, counts 5, 6, and 7. I can't remember. And, you know, but I don't think, and then the judge said, you know, the implications of that could be, because we don't want extra violence, and we don't want violent reactions to that if he was put to death. But, you know, a lot of people, reactions around, you know, outside of the courtroom, just around us,
anyway,
that should have happened, but
we'll get to more of that. And our second conversation will be around aviation safety. Conversations have been on and on, and about that one as well. We'll find out what that is about in the course of the program.
We'll also have, of course, we'll be talking about some of these security problems, especially the Niger, the kidnapping in Niger State and all that, and vis-a-vis, you know, the previous one, the KB, and then, you know, with Niger State is what we're focusing on, but of course, we'll rally around others. Of course, we have the Trinity Group and Trinity International College 30th anniversary is coming up. We'll have them with us to discuss that.
Then today you will know what they call exercise. Yes.
We didn't wear we don't have our exercise gear.
No, you change. You use AI to change.
Oh,
so lifestyle today will be about those simple things you can do within 10 minutes just to get your blood pumping.
Yeah,
we all need
no
to
heavy
have
lifting.
exercises. No heavy lifting in the interest of peace and stability.
Of course, we have our artist of the week. She's not new, but...
oh, you already let that out.
No, don't worry. She's not new. That's all I'm going to say.
Not new. All right, we'll find out more about that. So in the meantime, do me a favor.
Yeah?
Get yourself a cup of steaming, pure kel.
We'll be right back, everyone. Well, welcome back. One of those topics that we just talked about in our opening comments, of course, one of the huge reports that came out during the week, that ended the week, is the Nnamdi Kanu case and his sentencing. That case has been on for a while, and there's been a flurry of charges. Well, let me say there were a flurry of charges against him. There still are, I'm guessing, but just these 7-count charges, I mean, they were just, brought into about 7 charges that the prosecuting counsel was able to bring up, and he was charged on all of them, and the judgment indicted him on all of them. So the Federal High Court in Abuja convicted the self-acclaimed leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Namdi Kanu, of terrorism against the federal government. While delivering the judgment, Justice James Omotosho said that the prosecution proved its case in the 7 counts against Nnamdi Kanu beyond reasonable doubt. So one count said that the defendant failed to respond to the broadcast accusation, and they refused to enter his evidence onto it. Justice Omotosho also stated that evidence shown by the prosecution revealed that the defendant ordered the sit-at-home order and a host of, things that he said but did not do, according to those who are supporting him. So this morning we have 2 gentlemen joining us to talk about this. We have legal practitioner Professor Joshua Olobo. He joins us from our Abuja studios. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Right.
The pleasure is mine.
Yes, and we also have Adebayo Ojo, former Attorney General of Oyo State. He joins us on the program as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
I'm glad to be here.
So, what we ask everybody, your initial thoughts on this judgment and the eventual sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. We all knew the day was coming, but we didn't know, exactly what to expect. So what are your initial thoughts on it?
Well, let me thank you for having me. But I need to set the record straight away that I participated in the prosecution.
Yeah.
We were led by our leader, Chief Solomon Adeboyega Umalo, SCN, and also Mr. Suraj Saida, SCN. I'm the third lead counsel in that matter. Yes. You see, the case has a checkered history. It all started in 2015. 1 trial, 4 judges. 4 judges. In 2015, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed IPOB, was first arraigned before my Lord Honorable Justice Mohammed Ahmed.
Okay.
Now, a judge of the Court of Appeal. He was then in Federal Court. Barely at the matter taken off when Nnamdi Kanu objected and said he couldn't get justice from the judge court. And as expected, the judge returned the file to my Lord the CJN, Honorable Justice, to the CJ, as at that time, Honorable Justice Awuta. And the matter was reassigned to my Lord Justice So, who is now the Chief Judge of the Federal Court. He was then in Court 2. He started the matter, Nnamdi Kanu, in his habitual manner, also objected and challenged the impartiality or otherwise of the judge. That judge also recused himself and returned the case file. Then it became the lot of Honorable Joseph Nyako to take up the matter. He filed a series of frivolous applications and several appeals, all to delay. And you know, we must face fact and set the fact rate. All delays in that matter. Till last Friday were all at the instances of Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, he pursued an appeal from the Federal Court up to Supreme Court, which was right. He lost. He won in the Court of Appeal, which is what he was holding on to. Whereas he failed to inform people, and likewise his supporters and even his sympathizers, including some lawyers who have been mischievous. They failed to inform and enlighten people that there was appeal, and the Supreme Court set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal on that matter. And the Supreme Court ordered that, remitted the case back to Justice Binta Nyako and said, my Lord Nyako should continue with the trial on those 7 counts. Supreme Court validated all those 7 counts charges and said they should continue. The trial was about to start when he came up with all series of applications again in his manner, until when he realized that he has reached a dead end, no trick for him to play again. And he also accused Justice Nyako of bias. Justice Nyako recused herself. Before Nyako again, he took several appeals again up to the Court of Appeal, which he lost 3 of them. Then Justice Nyako also returned the case for back to the CJ. And it was signed to Honorable Joseph Motoso. Let me say, Professor Osekume, SN was in this matter before. He withdrew from the matter. Likewise,
prosecution or defense?
No, defense for him. He was in the matter before. When the man could not go with his antics, the man, in order to save his integrity, withdrew from the case. Then we started before Honorable Justice James Omatoso. Then he was being defended by our leader, one of the respected counsel in the country, Kanu Abiodun, former Attorney General of the Federation, at a live venture. Chief Onyeka Piasu, one of the best too in the country, one of the 10-ton lawyers. Then Mr. Paul Elokuru was there. Anuge, SN, Nkaso, Akarawe, the best anybody can parade. But unfortunately, and it's very important, which most people don't know, apparently with them, there are 4 gentlemen, who are gentlemen, in quote, lawyers too, who are also members of IPOB. And I need to say, I must say, rather than taking objective, professional, and sincere legal advice from those top lawyers, the defendant prefer to listen to those 4 other lawyers who, when the other one withdrew, along with them, he retained those 4 lawyers as his consultant, legal consultant. You see, in this country, there are lawyers. We know ourselves. And the lawyers know themselves. We also know the judges. And believe me, you see, and criminal prosecution and defense is just like a lesser person would be saying is sui generis, is also in a class of his own. If you are not an expert in criminal prosecution or criminal defense, better don't go there. Allow those who are well versed and trained. And I think Mr. Kanu had the best of lawyers in the Kanu Agabi-led team, which he chose to send away. So, you see, and again, I need to say this. All the issues that he raised before my Lord Omatoso had been raised and decided by the Supreme Court. Talk about, it was reported in the Blender, that's FRN and Kanu. Talk about this of extra rendition. It had been decided and pronounced upon. And the court said it will not feature the trial, no matter the way you are brought back to face your trial in Nigeria after you ran away. Then he raised the issue of that some laws were repealed. Supreme Court said no, The law is that the mere fact that a law or an act had been repealed does not mean that anything done under that law will go away, because there is always a what we call saving transition in any act, which will preserve what had been done under that law, and it will still go ahead. And Justice Omotoso clearly, pronouncedly, and profoundly pronounced on all those issues. So all the issues that he raised before Omotoso had been dealt with. And what do you expect? We just Omotoso now give a decision contrary to the Supreme Court. That will be judicial actuality. So we call 5 witnesses, PW1, PW2, 3, 4, 5, who tender evidences, several, and who tender, apart from giving all evidences in the dock, also put before the court several exhibits, including video of his broadcast and interview. And he admitted, when he was being interviewed, that I made those broadcasts. Do you get my point? And through that broadcast, several lives were lost. And you know one thing, he took a gamble. No, as expected, he made a new case submission with the court overruled. The court overruled his case submission. Then he was called upon to make defense. Then he started his habitual manners of delay and what have you again. You get my point? So then he filed several motions, repeating same issues that had been tried and pronounced upon by the Supreme Court. The judge severally dismissed those issues. All that, and you know, it is too elementary that in criminal trial you can't stay proceeding.
Okay. Anyway, there are a whole lot of stuff that have happened as far as this matter is concerned, and what we are getting now is a lot of feedback here and there. Now you've just given us some background as to what happened from your own perspective. But let's also have a conversation with Prof in our Abuja studio. As you know, my colleague asked earlier, what are your initial thoughts about the entire proceeding? It took 10 years. There are those who are referencing the fact that the one that took place in the UK was done with in about a year. The one that took place in Finland was done with in about a year. But this one in Nigeria took 10 years. Does that imply anything in your own, from what you can see? Would you say justice has been served, or you think there are something? What are your thoughts?
First and foremost, we must appreciate the fact that the judiciary have risen to the occasion. And even the prosecuting agency, look at the matter that the United Nations House that was born 2012, the trials have just resumed, trial within trial. You see, the delay within the criminal jurisprudence actually create the uproar at the conviction of Kanu. Because if, for instance, our prosecution, which they have done their work hard, the judge has been firm and determined the matter timelessly, the issue will not arise, especially like some person like now, you know about Kabiru Sokoto, some other person, Sunday Igboho, that agitated for Dual Republic and all those. Even in that judgment, my Lord Justice Omotoso acknowledged that Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for self-determination, which is his own constitutional right within the International Covenant of Peoples and Political Rights. We must appreciate that. That's what the court acknowledged. That even when he cited 1957 of Paul Enahoro, the court said that yes, that he's even getting to know about those particular situations. How about Macaulay was jailed because of his agitation for independence of Nigeria? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that there's nothing novel in this Namdi Kanu case. The only issue was the manner and the tactics employed by Kanu, which have actually generated a lot of sympathy, and law go beyond sympathy. Law is law, emotion is emotion. So first and foremost, we must commend my Lord Justice Omotoso for being firm, for being calm, emotional, intelligent, because if you look at what happened, especially during the judgment that was live televised, you know that I'm not surprised because I was part of Asai Dokubo in 2006, 2007, led by Festus Keyamo. That is the antics of freedom fighter. They can use words on judges. And it wasn't novel at it too. But the only issue in this case was that Nnamdi Kanu has the best lawyer, as my learned senior advocate have asserted. Right from before even Kanu Agabi came, Kazu is one of the best lawyer when it comes to criminal and election matters. Then you also recall that Michael Zokoma at the point was also his lawyer. And if you look at this judgment, before the no case submission was overruled, his lawyer participated in cross-examination of all the witnesses feeded by the prosecution. So now the issue, because some say that the court will have assigned him a lawyer since Section 1 sub 2 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 has amended, carry capital offense. How do you provide a lawyer for someone that have area of senior advocate that have participated holistically? And he get to the point of defense, and he decided that he wants to conduct his defense by himself, which is within the realm of the constitutional right. Because Constitution Section 36 gives the latitude to any person to defend himself, either represented by a lawyer of his choice, or defend himself or represent himself. So, and even in my Lord Justice Omotosho also acknowledged that there were some lawyers that he called consultant, which is quite novel in our criminal jurisprudence. And the court allowed them, record their presence. At any given time, they were consulted, or there was conferences. So what I will say is that this is a wake-up call to Nigeria judiciary. Let's be firm. Heaven will not fall once any person is convicted. The only issue is that some feel that some person are above the law. The delay tactics employed, not only Kanu, even by order, because recall that this matter started 2001, not the 2015, because there was a fresh amendment. There was a child that was, after he was kidnapped, let me use the word kidnapped from Kenya. Then that was the basis of this particular matter. So I would not like to say from 2015 at the 12, even though some incident backdated to the acts from 2015, but this particular matter commenced in 2021. And that is why we must also look at the judgment. Even though the judgment, the court is under duty to give the mandatory sentence of death penalty, the court does not have discretionary power. One, there's a mandatory provision, but my law bend the law, just with human sympathy, quoting Matthew 23, verse 23, which will normally make as the alluticos, and in temper justice with mercy. And I keep on saying, if Kanu one call lawyers go to appeal, and the prosecution appeal the sentence, he may even revert from life sentence to death by hanging. And also know that the life imprisonment does not mean that you'll be in prison throughout your lifetime. It's just a duration of 21 years. And that 21 years, in the prison calendar, 9 to 10 months make a year. So it's less than 15 or 16 years. And also what the court did not avert their mind in this judgment, Section 416, sub 2, paragraph E, which is a sentence guidance that once you are convicting someone that are being in custody, the period of incarceration need to be factored, which means from that 2021 that he has been in the custody of DSS, that period have to read. But the judgment said that the sentence commenced from the 20th, which to me is a grave violation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. And although it can be remedied, because that period that he was incarcerated, isolated in DSS, the sentence ought to start from that day. That is 2021 when he was kidnapped.
So let me get this straight, Prof.
Well,
just 1 second.
From Kenya to Nigeria.
When you say that a life sentence is a maximum of 21 years, I want to understand. I thought life meant limitless till death do us part. Help me understand what you mean by it's just 21 years.
Yeah, that's the position of the Supreme Court. And as expert in criminal jurisprudence, the court has defined what constitutes life sentence. Life sentence is not that you're going to be there for life. is a period of 21 years that constitutes life sentence within Nigeria criminal jurisprudence as decided by the plethora of cases by the Supreme Court.
Okay, let me ask the SAN here. Is that correct? So, or are you saying that it's just a placation, this life sentencing? Couldn't the Supreme Court, the court just have...
I studied, I studied, apart from law, criminology. Okay. And I also took criminology in my undergraduate years at the primary university in Ibadan. And I have not come to here or come and across any law which has fixed licenses to be 21 years. I'm surprised, but he's a learned professor. We keep on learning every day. So don't let us, we can go on with our subject of discussion rather than, now, we must not argue our law here on TV.
Okay, now, Prof, let me come back to you very quickly. There are those who are referencing the substance of the issue, the political agitation, and the, because it would seem like to a good number of people, it's an open and shut case. I mean, it's pretty much straightforward. There are those who are referencing on the one hand the right, which you also referenced, to self-agitation, the political agitations there. There are those who are saying that the issues of the Civil War have not really been resolved. Yet there are those who are saying that as a result of the pronouncements and activities of the convict now, Nnamdi Kanu, that there have been loss of lives and loss of economic activity, loss of property and all of that. And then there are those who are calling on the president's political intervention. In all of these, which one do you think takes the cake? Or do you think the only way to go about it is to continue in the judicial path?
The Supreme Court, even in a side document that I participated with Festus Keyamo, the current Minister of Aviation, denying Asari Dokubo Bay that one national security is an issue, that individual right is on hold. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that court is court. Political question cannot be determined by court. It's at this time that I call on the political thought and the leaders of the Indigbo to arise above sentiment and employ the president to invoke Section 175 of the Constitution, because without conviction, they can't be pardoned. So even the judgment of Justice Omotosho is even in favor of Namdi Kanu, with all sense of responsibility. And I dare say that the Deputy Speaker, Ben Kalu, and all those that feel that Igbo's party, that is Ebonyi now, that is in APC, Enugu has come to APC, Imo is in APC. If actually they are in APC for the good of the people, they should be able to sit the president down and say, yes, the sit-at-home order which violate the constitutional right of even the citizens of the Igbo, especially those that dwell in the southeast. Now the court has pronounced on it. A lot of people that are agitated on this judgment does not reside in southeast with all sense of responsibility. They are in Lagos, where they have a lot of freedom of expression. They don't know what people go through, how people suffer. Do you know, apart from Ahmed Gulag that died during the sit-home period of Monday, Justice Stanley Naji also was killed. So now the issue of self-determination and terrorism, how does it arrive? When you incite people or your message go ahead and, record that there's Eastern Security Network, which carry arms of the iPod, and record that iPod have been proscribed since 2017. There's no settlement about law. There's no settlement when it comes to law. Even like that, we're talking about whether, look, the problem of Nigeria is that we're not serious. As a people, since 2013, I did my master thesis on Boko Haram, threat to national security and right to life. But we were playing with Boko Haram to have a lot of franchise. In that same 2013, I did a comprehensive work on terrorism, kidnapping, and cybercrime in Nigeria, based on the invitation of the Benue Judiciary for me to present a paper on cybercrime. I can say with all sense of responsibility that Nigeria is not ready to fight insecurity. That is why the genocidal aspect is consuming. Not to say that Christian is being a victim. Every person, whether you are a pagan or you are in any religion, there is a genocide currently in Nigeria. And there's no need of differentiating whether it's banditry or kidnapper or any terrorist group. Once you carry arms and put people in a state of fear, that is terrorism. And it's quite clear. And the way the Northerner is pampering it, especially Gumi, we say that it's my people, that we need to look at the poverty line. This is what is creating disconnect. Okay. In as much as there's equality before the law, let it be in reality. All right. Well, look at what the Office of the National Security Advisor have been doing. No, Ribadu is my very good friend. Okay. All right, Prof. You know, thank you for those perspectives. Let me bring you to corruption. Just 1 second, Prof. Let me bring you to the SAN in our studio here. There are already readings of various other angles to the case. Some are saying, on the one hand, just as I told him, the accused or the convict, the person who has been convicted by the court, should appeal up onto the highest levels and all of those things, as is his constitutional right. Then there are those who are saying, well, we haven't really addressed, even though his methodology was faulty, the substance of what the issue was about hasn't really been discussed among the different stakeholders. There are those who are reading political permutations to it and all those things, and now calling for the president's intervention. What are your thoughts on that? And what will the implication of any of that be on judicial?
Let me first say this. Nnamdi Kanu is a very lucky man. You know, under the law, which he faced, he underwent that trial. Once he's found to be guilty and convicted, the judge has told the Christian it will be their penalty. It is their penalty. Up to now, I'm confused as to what way in the minds of the judge to temper justice with mercy. Because for some offenses, a judge has no discretion once a defendant has been adjudged guilty. So, it is their penalty, not life imprisonment. So the judge was very fair to him. And if he chooses to appeal now, the prosecutor too has the right to cross appeal on that issue of sentencing. And believe me, once it's appealed free, Supreme Court will now impose the appropriate penalty. Yeah. Yes, that's one thing. Okay, you are talking about the substance of his agitation. Believe me, your own right stop where my start. You must not exercise your own right to the detriment of my own right. Look, many lives were lost. Look, where did the Igbos, the people of the Southeast, where did they sit down and met and say, we appointed you, Nnamdi Kanu, to do this for us? No, he's only playing, insulting the intelligence of most people, exploiting the gullibles, and railroad them into a senseless, believe me. Did he command any military or any, what do they call it? Look, when the late Ojukwu embarked on C4, the late Ojukwu was a member of the military, trained even in England. Look at my point. You see, he has some command then under him. And despite that, what happened? What was the end of his agitation? It failed. But look, when this man embarked on this senseless agitation, many lives were lost. It was like him committing genocide against the people of the Southeast. And if we are look at his disciple in Finland, Simon Ekpa. What happened there? He was sentenced to prison as well. Look, no agitation should lead to loss of lives. We must not shed innocent blood of anybody. And like we always quote the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, when he said, my ambition is not what is the life of anybody. Yeah. Look at the several people that he wasted their lives. It was even said that the husband of Pusakuili was killed, was murdered by ESN in broad daylight. A man who was going about his lawful duties. What are we talking about, the substance? Which substance? Let's forget. If you have, we all have representatives in the Senate, we have in the National Assembly. If truly, let them take it up there, like the Somatos or rightly advise him. Not that we now be incite people to kill others, to kill security agencies, to keep people, ask people not to go out. To me, it is meaningless. And I don't know why, how he was able to hypnotize some of his followers and people who agree with him until today. Some are still supporting. So senseless to me. It is senseless, believe me. Let's forget about the substance. It's senseless.
Well, yeah, we're running out of time, but, you know, there are some of his supporters, you know, from the Southeast that seem to believe that he did not really commit any real crime. That real crime in quotes, because, I mean, he didn't do any action himself, but I would think that it's conspiracy.
Conspiracy?
It's conspiracy too, because he's the one that called. He didn't like commit the act himself, but he called for action for those acts to be committed.
No, under terrorism, under the Terrorism Act, incitement of people, incitement alone is enough. By any means. That act is comprehensive.
And even economic sabotage.
Yes, I agree with you. Look at Simon Nepa now.
Yes.
Simon Nepa did a full step here. He was in Finland and he was making broadcasts. And he's facing the music now.
Yes, well, we are certainly out of time. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on to the show today to talk about this. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Adebayo Ojo, former Attorney General of Oyo State.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And of course, from our Abuja studio, legal practitioner, Professor Joshua Anobo. Thank you so much for coming to talk about this issue. Ayo.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
We're coming back with the next conversation. By the way, do you know that Mr. Adebayo Ojo, former Attorney General of Oyo State, was called former Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Wikipedia? Anyway,
yes.
We'll talk about that one some other time. So we're back after now. I hope you still have your cup of cocoa, because we need something to live. Okay, all right, okay. You know that guy? What's his name? Pharaoh or something? J. Pharaoh or something like that. He can't imitate for Africa. Anyway, there's a lot of 30-year-old organizations all over the place now.
Yes, sir.
I hear that the Covenant Nation is about 30, House on the Rocks is about 30, Daystar Christian Center is about 30. Now we're talking about another 30-year-old organization. Trinity International College kicked off 30 years ago and was born out of a deep concern for the alarmingly declining standards of education in Nigeria. 30 years ago. I wonder what they would describe it as today. Anyway, let's have conversations. Because the management of Trinity International College, they're here with us to outline the achievements ahead of the college's 30th anniversary celebrations. The Chairman, Board of Governors, Trinity International College of Fada, Ogun State, is here with us, Engineer Bayo Kolade. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have the Director, Education, Trinity International College of Fada, Ogun State, Ms. Olupomile Adeyemo. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So let me first of all accuse you with that question. 30 years ago, the Trinity International College started with the deep concern for the alarmingly declining standards of education in Nigeria. I wonder what you would describe it as today.
Thank you. Today, we are still battling with that decline somehow, but there have been concerted efforts from people like us in the private sector to make a difference. People are starting to address the situation more than it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, government was in charge of practically everything concerning education. You know, by that time, also the military had already taken over all missionary schools.
Yes.
And all these schools were not properly funded. Their curriculum were getting veered off from the foundation of these religious organizations. Even the Muslims and the Christians, their fundamental principles, they were teaching the children. Those things were no more emphasized in the curriculum. Apart from that, government was not funding because they were literally a horde of institutions that government was investing in. And the education sector itself, even till now, by United Nations standard, that 25% of the budget should be allotted to education. I think by Nigeria today still allots about 6 to 7% of its budget to education, which is still a far cry from that 25%. But the private sector are coming in every area, and that is where Trinity came in at that time.
Good. Trinity Group you mentioned. So there is a difference clearly between Trinity Group and Trinity International College.
Yes.
What's the relationship with between the two? What's the vision, mission, values, and the journey so far?
Right. The Trinity Group basically a group of Christians, believers, who came together in 1994 while discussing all these issues we're discussing today, and we're wondering, can we do something about it? Must we all be complaining? Must everybody just carry on as if nothing can be done? And one of us took out the gauntlet and challenged us, and that is the visionary, Pastor Samuel Femi Olatunji, and said, gentlemen, stop talking. Let us act. If you believe that something can be done, do something now. That was how the group was formed. And with about 52 people contributing, everybody was just put something down so that we can start. I can tell you then, some started with as little as 50 naira.
Wow.
To contribute 100 naira just to get something going. And that was how Trinity College, International College, came into being in 1995. And the first set of students, 7, were our own children. It was like we were using our own children to say, if you can do it, give your own children, let's see. People saw that we were serious, and from churches, they said, okay, let's. Within 1 year, the space we had in Nigeria was too small for us because people were voluntarily bringing in their own children, and that is the beginning of our story. It was an experiment that by the time it was a motley class, let me say, engineers, doctors, scientists, but a very few of us were educationists. There was no study, we didn't do anything, no basic preparation for it, no cost.
Right. I mean, well, you know,
we just went into it like that.
Coming from the back of that, you know, by the time that you saw that, oh, this thing is getting serious, that's when, you know, everything started falling in place. And I must direct this to you as the Director of Education. You know, after, you know, everybody coming together and seeing that, oh, you know, I think we can do something here, we have something here. Then we start putting together plans, the vision and the mission and the values that we want to inculcate as a school. Could you tell us the relationship between the two, the vision, mission, values, and of course the journey so far from, you know, we talked about the declining value of education 30 years ago and what we have now. Can you give us the relationship?
Thank you very much. Trinity International College journey of 30 years has been that of growth, resilience, consistency, and excellence. And of course, we've grown with the vision to provide a first-class education for future leaders by combining academic excellence with moral uprightness and spiritual uprightness. And every activities we are involved in is determined by our values, which are academic excellence, professionalism, integrity, responsibility, leadership, and Christian values. Every class we teach, every disciplinary actions we undertake, all our messages are informed by our values. And if we look at it over the journey of 30 years, we've achieved our goal. We believe that education is not just academics alone. It is about producing and preparing future leaders, children, to have the 3 C's of competence, character, creativity, which is now merged with values and the heart for service with empathy. And of course, that is our mission and our vision. And we've been able to achieve the mission consistently over these 30 years. Wow. And of course, I'm not just saying this. This is born out of feedback from educational institutions that receive our students, from industry leaders who employ our graduates. Though they go on to the university, but they always tell their employers that my secondary school, Trinity International College, made me. And also feedback from parents too. Thank you.
Wow. Interesting. One would say that that's a major achievement.
Yes.
Perhaps you also want to point to some of the other achievements that we can say the Trinity Group has been able to achieve. And maybe you also want to tell us, since it's a group of schools, since it's a group, is there another secondary school that has been, started after Trinity International College by the Trinity Group, or any other thing?
Yeah, let's be called to as a group. We still refer ourselves as group because that's what it started with. But we have formalized what it is now. Today we have what we call Trinity Education and Development Foundation. Okay. That is the umbrella in which we operate. And Trinity Education and Development Foundation has gone out to find the TRIFOS, that's the primary school and the nursery school based in Ofada. We have a Trinity High School, which is a day student, to cater for our surrounding, because not all people can afford boarding school. Because you know what it costs to feed students now, even to feed at home. And so we have the Trinity High School. By, let's say, divine arrangement again, we had to start a university because we focused mainly on this college. And people saw it and began to encourage us. Even the former secretary of the NUC encouraged us to go start a university, because most of the private universities were either funded by religious organizations or people with deep pocket who have nothing to do with education. I said, look, you people have successfully run this place for almost 20 years. Why don't you go to the next stage? And we ventured in to the university. So we got our license to start a university in 2019. And we have 2 sites. One near our college in Ofada is a place called Laleko, not too distant from it. We have about 300 acres of land there. And then in Yaba, close to Queen's College, right in the heart of Lagos. We are there as our city campus, and that's where we currently operate. And by the grace of God, we have graduated 3 sets of students from the place, because, again, when they gave us our license, just before we could say Jack Robinson, COVID set in.
All right.
And that made us to quickly get on the next level. That is technology in education.
Okay.
So 2020, we did not stop. So there was no gap for all our students.
You know,
everybody was online.
One of these days, we have to bring you back to come and talk fully about how to start a school. But let me ask, Ms. Adiemo, I thought you want to add to that, but then perhaps in the space of that also, begin to tell us what are some of the highlights of the anniversary celebration.
Okay, before I touch on the highlights of the celebration, you ask a question about our achievements in 30 years. And drawing from our mission to provide a first-class education by combining academic excellence with strong moral and spiritual values, we've achieved so much. Consistent academic excellence. For example, UTME, 40% of our students usually score 300 and above, and no student below 200. We offer international, we run the national and international curriculum. We prepare students for SAT, IELTS, TOEFL, IGCSE, Cambridge. British Council started the award for top in the country and top in the world in IGCSE in 2015. Over the years, we've been able to win 11 awards in that, either as top in the world or top in the country. SAT, our students, we've had students who posted a score of 1,580 over 1,600, not just once. When we talk about academic excellence, we are there. And for International Olympiad, consistently, we've won the local, the state, and the national, such that we've represented the country in Asia, Europe, South America, over time. So even in the WAEC too, the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. So excellence is our watchword, but we don't stop there because we believe certificate is not enough. But we need to produce or prepare the leaders of tomorrow. We must make them to be competent. They must be creative. They must have character so as to give us the world and, of course, the country we are praying for. For our 30th anniversary, the highlight, we started a week ago, Thursday, November 13. There was a press conference in the school. Yesterday, we had an anniversary lecture, and Professor Lanre Olaniyan was a lecturer there. Students presented some cultural activities yesterday. And today, we are going to offer that our children are taught the art of service. So we are going to offer that for a community-based work. We teach them the act of service, act of giving back to the community where we settle. And of course, there was a match between the staff and students yesterday. And today we are hosting about 20 schools to a sport competition: basketball, volleyball, football, chess, lawn tennis, and table tennis, because Trinity in Ofada is situated on an 84 acres of land. So each class group from year 7 to year 12, they have their own football pitches and monkey posts and so on and so forth. So tomorrow is the grand finale of the anniversary, where we gather to thank God for a consistent excellence over this 30-year period, consistent shaping of lives that, like a parent say, Trinity is a rehabilitation center, because whatever you give us, we turn them in and out. A student say that my parent made a decision to bring me to Trinity, happened to be the best decision that my parent has ever made in their life. This is a child from the diaspora. And we have our greatest testimony, like I say, are the values we have created, the lives we we have shaped and the leaders that we are providing for the country and even the world tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. That's a lot. So what message, do you hope to... I know you've said a lot about the achievements and, the reactions from parents and students as well, and the consistency over the years. But, if I could come to you, what message do you hope to convey, to the public about the importance, of education and why? Because a lot of people think that, it's not everybody that goes to school that doesn't go to school that makes it in life. Like, even if you don't go, you can still, and they give us examples, to back up their claim.
Education, like the people you are referring to, I don't want to use that word again. It's education is a scam.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But people look at education as the exams you write and pass and syllabuses in school. In Trinity, we give complete education. Academic, moral, relationship, and the total child is what we build. It was given you examples because on the Christian principle of love your neighbor as yourself and be kind to others, these children are taught to relate. You find some, they come bullying, even from the background they come from. Some parents, because the way they grew up, they see parents fighting, quarreling, they are from abusive, and some of these children are dumped on us. Education means you can change these people and turn them around. Your thought process is renewed, is changed. We have people that have come from different parts of Nigeria that they came with the notion that this is how some people behave. But when they come into the community, they are better educated. they are better citizens. Education, again, means that you can stand on your own. You can be what you want to be. With education, if you are literate, let me say now, if you are literate, you can access more information. If you are not computer literate, you are just where you are. But there's so much information in this space that without the basic education, you won't be able to access.
I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again, Engineer Kolade. We have to bring you back to come and talk about this school on a larger, because, the 15 minutes that we have for this segment is not going to be enough. We have to thank you very much for this time. Just to be clear, that you said that and it's been on the screen as well, the celebration is November 21 to 23. Tomorrow is the grand finale. Yeah. And you said it's a Thanksgiving service of sorts.
Yes, award.
An award. Okay. The location is?
Father, Trinity International College. People can also join us online through our social media handles, Trinity International, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram,
and the rest of them.
And
Don't worry, I understand.
And of course, they can also go through our website, trinitynG.com.
Okay, all right.
Before we go, I just want to say, the mandate you wanted to get by this program was to let people come in, but again, we have only one day. But you think it's worth it, again, because of your viewership. That is international.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
She mentioned it, that people in the diaspora are sending their children. It's been increasing now over the years.
Absolutely.
Because of what is happening over there.
Yes.
Because morals, values are not being taught in school anymore.
Maybe it's time for us to begin to consider Trinity online. But don't say I said it. Engineer Bayo Kolade, Chairman, Board of Governors, Trinity International College of Abiodun State. Thank you so much for your time this morning, as well as Ms. Zolu Pomile Adeyemo, Director of Education, Trinity International College. We appreciate your time. You spoke like a teacher.
Yeah.
I have to make a note of that one. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now, when we return, you know, the list we gave you earlier, one of them is coming up, so just stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're talking aviation safety. This is, well, it's not a subject for, you know, one-time subject. It's something that's constantly discussed because the planes are ever in the air. It's a major transportation mode in Nigeria. And so it's something we must continue to talk about. It's not just the safety, but, you know, things that go on. Nigeria's NCAA has a Category 1 air safety rating from the US FAA indicating compliance with international standards, but it has also faced challenges while the NCAA asserts that its oversight system meets International Civil Aviation Organization requirements, it has recently been under scrutiny for safety lapses. Recent audits have yielded mixed results. In June 2024, Nigeria's aviation sector scored 71.04% in an ICAO Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, falling short of the 75% benchmark for the first time in 15 years. And we're all wondering what happened there. But the NCAA claims it's still committed to addressing all identified issues. Now, here's some more. Nigeria's scheduled air capacity is set to decline for the second consecutive quarter in Q4 of 2025, according to the IATA Quarterly Air Transport Chartbook, quarter 2035. Now, I'm reading this just to set, you know, the groundwork for some of the things we're going to be talking about. The projection places Nigeria among the few African markets expected to experience a double-digit contraction in seat capacity for the period. In contrast, other major African markets such as Egypt and South Africa are projected to expand seats capacity by 8.6% and 11.8% year-on-year, respectively. Now,
can they also reduce costs?
So we have to talk about this. We have a seasoned aviation expert, Captain Abiodun, MD Aero Contractors. He joins us in the studio. Thank you very kindly, as some of my people would say, for joining us in the studio. It's a serious matter, but, you know, let's see how we can get all this on course, Ayo.
If you don't mind me during the first shot, the aviation sector, Captain, has been under some measure of scrutiny. Aviators like yourself, some of you guys think it's rightly so. Some think the aviation sector is under unjust or unfair scrutiny in some cases, and definitely it doesn't get any easier, given that, you know, it's reputed to be one of the safest in the world, yet one of the most technical, the most delicate, heavily regulated. What are the things we don't know that we need to understand about aviation? Maybe that will help people understand why their attention is so intense.
Well, we have to put attention, we have to put the searchlight on aviation, because any crash, any incident, any accident, I mean, brings up a headline news. And we must strive to be safe. I mean, safety is non-negotiable, it's the fundamental values of aviation. So when you read about the USOP audit, that is the Universal Safety Oversight Audit, that we scored 71, and I made very clear in several interviews that Nigeria should not celebrate, despite the fact that people think 71 is a good pass mark, but it is actually a sign that the Nigerian aviation safety oversights, or all the audits elements in that safety oversight, it's been threatened, and then things must be done to address that.
What should have been the number?
It should be between 75 to 80. Yeah. Now, again, we don't want to set a low standard. I would have said a 90-95 would be something that I'll be comfortable with, and aspiring to get to 100%.
Yeah.
Innovation is 100%, because when you buy your ticket, you want to be 100% sure you're going to get to your destination.
So what makes us vulnerable then?
So there's a couple of factors. First and foremost is that in the aviation industry, we tend, especially recently, and which is bothering me, is we tend to celebrate things that are not supposed to be celebrated. I mean, things that are not in any way safety related. And we have systematically over the years removed ourselves from addressing this safety audit findings to something very mundane, you know. So that is why you see so many attentions. If we have, as an industry, stakeholders pay more attention on those items that we scored very low, which is air navigation, infrastructure, and the rest of them. And also those that we've scored high, if we still keep correcting them and getting better results on them, then probably the entire searchlight would not have been that much. But I believe the whole thing that is coming is symptoms of a very sick industry that needs attention.
So what then do you make of the, is there validity in the attention of the Senate?
So again, that's why I say we celebrate things wrongly. I mean, the Senate came in and took over, I would say, took over the responsibility of the regulator. I mean, you can imagine Senate Committee on Aviation, with all respect to them, they have the oversight rights and all that, but they cannot say they have cleared an airline. So it's like Senate Committee on Finance saying they have cleared a bank. You don't do that. There is a regulator that does that. Senate is to make legislations and do an oversight on the industry, not to be clearing airlines. So those altercations or those things that come out of the Senate send very wrong signal to the aviation industry and to the stakeholders, to the airlines, and even to international community. When a Senate committee sits down and says, okay, let's take, for instance, the problem of the overrun that happened in Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Investigation Safety Board, which is the NSIB, is the agency that is responsible for investigation. They came and said a pilot or the crew had drug issues. I don't think we should sweep it all down the carpet or just say no. I think we should investigate further. But what happened later degenerated all the way to the Senate. I mean, in a normal climate, when an investigation is carried out and such kind of alteration is said, a full investigation should be done, and the root cause should be identified and make amends to it.
So that has not been done?
No, that has not been done.
You see that happening eventually?
Well, I hope so. I pray that happens, because, you know, the Safety Investigation Bureau made an allegation that this is what they found in their investigation. The Nigerian Civil Aviation said it's not correct. The Senate now came and cleared everything. I think there is something missing. If there was this allegation, if we feel that there is supposed to be an investigation or it's not true, I think the best thing to do is to set up a committee, an independent committee, to do an investigation to find out where, if NSIB was wrong or if NCA was wrong, to find out exactly where it is. It is extremely important that we get it right, because these are heavy allegations. There was an overrun. Thank God nobody died, but then there was also allegation of substance abuse. So then there shouldn't have been, oh, it's not true, or it's true. There should be a systematic and analytic way of finding out what exactly happened and addressing the root cause of it.
Are you concerned, you know, I mean, we have these discussions, is the fact that there's possibility, a lot of possibilities of it happening, they being cleared, or what have you. But are you concerned about these incidents on, you know, in the Nigerian airspace, so let me call it, where crew members are actually accused of substance abuse, which compromises safety of passengers? Are you concerned that it could actually, there could be a probability that it could really be happening and maybe nobody notices, that people are just found out at this point?
So over my 30+ years of flying, what we have seen is it's very unlikely. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, and I say it's very unlikely, so it can happen. But we are subject to rigorous drug and alcohol tests, sometimes random, sometimes scheduled, sometimes you go for your medicals and you have to do that. Now, having said that, yes, there are people that abuse substance. Yes, there are mental health. I mean, these are things that happen in societies. So if this thing happened in the aviation field, I think we should pay more attention to check what exactly happened. Even if it is an allegation, we should find the root cause of the allegation. As the saying goes, there is no smoke without fire. So why don't we find out exactly what happened and then make amends to it?
Is there a place for the AON in this? Because it's one of your members. The operator is one of the members of the AON. And if there is an accusation of one, do you think there is something that, be it surreptitiously, that the AON could have come out to say, guys, we know the sector. The Senate may not know or understand the sector, but we know the sector. Let's leave politics aside. This is something that is smeared the industry, our operations, and we should do some findings among ourselves. Do you see a role like that?
No, I don't look at it that way. Okay. I believe we have a regulator in the industry that is that should come out and actually say, look, this is what we do, and I believe they did. But I don't think it is enough, because after they did, the Senate took it over. Because if the regulator came out very forcefully and said, look, this is what we do, and this is what we, and the airline comes out and say, yeah, we have a drug and alcohol test and all that. But all this having been said and done, I think we should have come out to do a real exercise. Let's say even a random drug and alcohol test for everybody.
I apologize. So what do you think informed the intervention of the Senate, if it is not as technical or functional as it ought to be? Because there are those who would begin, from what you are saying, being an expert, there are those who would see it more as a political decision as opposed to a technical, a professional, and operational one.
Yeah, probably the Senate came out of to make an announcement on it, because probably one of the senators said drug and alcohol is a normal thing in aviation. So probably that is it. I don't know why they came to do that, but I think that was it. But the main thing is we are missing the point. The NSIB made an allegation. The NCAA said, no, it's not true. And we, as a country, I think we should have, or the ministry, or anybody in the government should have suggested that we should have an independent body to look at all the allegations and bring it out, because they are hefty allegations. And it will smear the Nigerian aviation internationally. I mean, it quite saddened me to feel that the Senate said they cleared the airline, or they cleared but the agency is keeping quiet, you know. So it's and
we haven't heard the minister either.
Yeah, so everybody is quiet, and we are thinking that it's life continues. And tomorrow they want us to celebrate bringing airplanes into the country, declining of transportation. Or we celebrate Cape Town Convention. We are scoring 70 in Cape Town Convention, but if you go practically to get an airplane leased into Nigeria, those are the small things that they will be thinking, do you have a very good oversight? So if I give you my equipment, is there going to be an oversight, a real oversight, or drug addicts are going to be flying my airplane?
Right, and you know, be that as it may, I think you mentioned some of these things before. You talked about why can't we up the game to about 95 to 100%. Even though Nigeria scored 71%, what are your thoughts about, you know, Nigeria's aviation safety as at now, regardless of the score?
So there is tremendous room for improvement. I mean, we have come a long way. Yes, we have to say that. Yes, we are not there yet, and we have done a lot of improvement in where we are. So there are room for improvements. And there, of course, infrastructure, navigational aids, regulations. We need to be more practical about the regulation. We need to look at what is happening. More oversight on safety oversight. And you have to understand the airlines are in such a way of like self-regulating. And then the regulator is overseeing what they're doing. So Nigerian aviation is safe. Don't get me wrong, it's quite safe. But we have some symptoms that we must address. We don't want the aviation industry to be unsafe before we address those risk items that we are looking at. And this scores is part of the telltale signs that it shows that the Nigerian aviation has an issue to be resolved.
Right.
Well,
at a time.
We can't stop. From time to time, we have to talk about these issues. Captain Abiodun Koya, MD, Aero Contractors, we appreciate your time this morning. And wish you the best. It's interesting, you know, Joke, that many times when we're talking about aviation, we only talk about when anyone is going to fly, looking about your comforts. Do I have enough leg space, enough cargo time? No one is really looking at all these issues that these aviators, what's their own? Just do the thing. I want to get to where I'm going safe and sound.
Exactly.
Okay, but we'll come to the end of this program. We'll fly this plane of sunrise this morning, safe and sound until 12. But before then, another one is coming up to stay with us.
We must fight for our right, anyhow, man must die,
Well, thank you so much for staying with us this morning. If you have been following the events in Nigeria, we've had all kinds of stuff said. The situation in Kwara State, in Kebbi State, and we've also heard of something that happened in Niger State where tension has gripped the state after terrorists launched a midnight assault on St. Mary's School, a Catholic institution in the Piri community of Agwara local government area, abducting an unconfirmed number of students and staff. Of course, the Niger State government says it remains in constant communication with security formations and will continue to provide updates as the situation develops. The questions abound as to what this whole thing is saying to us as a nation, particularly when it seems to be happening in a flurry. Let's get perspectives this morning from two gentlemen joining us. SP Wasiu Abiodun is police PRO in Niger State. He joins us virtually. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And we also have Dr. Kabiru Adamu, who is a security and intelligence consultant. He's also the managing director, Beacon Security and Intelligence Limited. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Adamu. Okay. Well, we'll get his audio in. But SP Abiodun, if you don't mind just giving us a quick update, exactly what happened and what should we be looking at?
I can't hear the studio.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Abiodun? Mr. Abiodun, can you hear us now? Okay, while we wait for Mr. Abiodun to join us. Dr. Adamu, you are in our Abuja studio. Mr. Abiodun, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Okay, we can hear you now. We couldn't hear you earlier. So now, please give us an update. What exactly happened, and is this something we saw coming?
I can barely hear you from my side. The audio is just breaking.
If you can hear me at all, just please go ahead. Give us an update. All right, well, when we're able to resolve that, we'll definitely bring it all back. Okay, well, Dr. Adamu, if you can hear me, what do you make of this? One of the things that I said earlier on when we were having conversations about this whole thing is that it seems to be a flurry. And this is like a wave. And it's happened a few times. There are those who are always pointing at political permutations. We don't hear these things happen during elections, but before elections, we hear of them. The areas where there are insecurity challenges, they have elections, they have representatives, we have results from them, but then here we are. What do you make of all of these? Dr. Adam.
Good morning, Ayo. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you very well. Please go ahead.
All right. I mean, there are a multitude of factors at play. Some of them, the threat actors themselves. When we sat down and tried to analyze the number of threat factors that we have at the moment in Nigeria, we counted 80 different groups, disparate groups across the country that are active and that have the capacity and capability to attack. And over time, for some odd reasons, we've not done very well in terms of limiting their ability to raise funds, their ability to acquire weapons, their ability to recruit new members, and then the most disturbing one, is their ability to move from point A to point B. If you look at the incident that happened in Kebbi, as well as the one that happened in Niger State, and then, of course, the one in Kwara State, the information at our disposal is that they moved from long distances and came to where they carried out their attacks. In some instances on motorbikes, in hordes. By hordes, I mean sometimes 50 or 100 of them moving together. So we've not done much in terms of the ability to stop that movement. And I think this is a responsibility that the entire national security enterprise should take. And then, of course, we need to start dealing with that. We can't, for instance, continue to speak about the same thing, and yet we are not doing those very important things that should stop these groups from having. Anyone who understands crime knows that once there is an intention to commit crime, the next thing is to look at the target. Is the target available? And in this instance, the targets are available. They attack soft targets, religious places of worship, educational institutions, and then, of course, sometimes block highways or even go to rural communities and carry that attack. And then, of course, the last point in that crime triangle is the benefit they get when they carry out those attacks. In the case of the Kwara incident, they are demanding for about 3 billion. I mean, as ridiculous as that may sound, in some instances, they actually get paid that money. In the case of the incident in Birnin Kebbi of the students, they are already in contact with the family the parents of the pupils, and they are beginning to make demands. So all of these are part of the reasons why these issues are the way they are, that we've not been able to address them.
Okay. Well, I'll come back to you on that matter, Dr. Adamu, but let me check if we can get to Mr. Abiodun. Mr. Abiodun, can you hear us well?
Yes, you are clear now.
Wonderful. So please give us an update. What exactly happened in Niger State? Did we see it coming?
Okay, thank you very much. What really happened on the 21st of November, that was yesterday, at the early hour of the day, we got a report that around 2 a.m., some Niger State Agbara local government area to this hoodlums invaded this school at that early hour of the day, and the school is a school with boarding facility where you have primary and secondary school facility in that school. And immediately we got that report. Unfortunately, this hoodlums they carted away a good number of students from this school, and we had to move in a detachment of command led by the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations was moved there, and even the military component within New Kanji axis had to also move there, and other agencies, intelligence agents and other agencies, we were on ground, and we've been working adequately to see what can be done operationally to rescue these students. And the operation is ongoing. We may not be able to spell out what are the efforts, what are the measures being put in place to rescue this student. But this is the situation on ground.
Do we have any numbers as of now, Mr. Abiodun?
Yes, as at the last contact yesterday, because the location is a very difficult location with network accessibility being difficult. The last contact we had yesterday, as at that yesterday, we had a confirmation of about 9 staff, and I think as I'm speaking with you, there's possibility of having increasing number of staff who were involved. And apart from the number of staff given to us as part of the teams, we also got a report of about 14 secondary school students who were part of the victims, and a large number of the primary school students. Although the number kept increasing, just as I said, as at yesterday, the last report, we had over 150 of them, and the number kept increasing because there were speculations that some students escaped. And having their parents coming forward, they have not seen their parents, then that makes the head count get increasing. So we cannot be able to categorically tell you this is the actual number of the abducted victims, as the head count and verification is still ongoing. But I'm very sure as soon as we have a round figure, we'll definitely find the exact figure of the victims involved in this abduction.
Just to be clear, you said the first figure you got was about 150. I'm
Yes.
talking about the students now, but that the number has now varies because some of them escaped. About 14 of them escaped. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I said at the last report, we got a report of 9 staff were part of the victims abducted. And apart from these 9 staff, we also got a report of 14 secondary school students to be victims, and a large number of primary school pupils were also victims. But as at the last count, we have counted over 150 of them to be victims. And along the line, there was speculation of some students probably escaped. But the parents later surfaced based on head count and verification. The number keeps increasing. So we cannot categorically tell you that this is the exact figure of the abducted students for now.
Just to also be clear, do you have any idea of how many people invaded the school? Because if you listen to what Dr. Adamu said, that some of these people came from quite a distance away from the location of the crime. So do you have any idea where they came from, how many they were, and all of that?
Yes, you may not be able to have an idea of the numbers of these hoodlums or insurgents, as the case may be. But the issue is that we've been having some pocket of challenges around Agbara local government and Progo local government because if you recall, there's a border axis in that area, Babana, which share boundary with Niger, Republic of Benin, rather. And pockets of incidents around the area have been happening. And those incidences should have served as a warning signal, early warning signals for the school authority to know that their location is being surrounded by some of these insurgents with the happenings around. I think the last incident is where we have rep member being attacked while he was visiting his constituency, and the joint security team in his convoy were able to prevent that attack and rescue him, and with a couple of other incidents. So it shows that the location of that school is being surrounded by the presence of these insurgents, and this is what we have at the end.
If I could just come to you, Dr. Adamu, from what he said, we're talking about distances now. The insurgents, or the kidnappers, came from far-flung places. The first thing I want to ask is, so how easy, was it to move a large number of victims, even though the incident took place at ungodly hours, if I can put it that way? How easy, if they came on motorcycles and, or on foot or what have you, how easy is it to move a large number of victims away from there, and, and they're kept hidden somewhere that nobody knows? That's the first thing. And then the second is that there's a lot of reasons that people are putting out there that, these abductions and attacks are happening at this time. Why do you think these attacks are happening now?
The first part of your question, how easy it is, they capitalize on fear. The students and their teachers and whoever it is that they meet in the locations where they attack are not prepared. As a country, we haven't done well to increase the resilience of our people to understand what they need to do. For schools, there is a Safe School Initiative. There is a Safe School Declaration. There is a national policy on safety, security, and violence-free schools. All of this that I've mentioned have been in existence for almost a decade, apart from the last one, the national policy, which was introduced in 2021. Unfortunately, we haven't done much to implement these policies in a manner that makes our schools, the vulnerabilities in the schools to reduce and to make them resilient. So these bad guys capitalize on these vulnerabilities. They capitalize on fear to kind of hoard their victims under the cover of night, and then, of course, the absence of security agencies to move them into those forests. So on the one hand, it is easy because the victim is not prepared and doesn't know what to do. On the other hand, it's also difficult in the sense that moving such a huge number, and most times they are spread. So you have a group that would stay to protect this one that I've carried out. And then, of course, when they are moving them mostly in a line like that. So that's how come some of them are able to escape. Like I said, on the one hand, it's easy. On the other hand, it's not that easy. If, for instance, we've prepared the students, we've prepared the teachers, as expected under the Safe School Initiative and the national policy, as well as the Safe School Declaration, then we won't be discussing this topic. And I think this is perhaps where, as a country, we need to ask the critical question, in spite of all the monies that have been devoted to these three policies that I've mentioned, plus a loan that we collected from the World Bank under a program called Agile, that is also supposed to have a security component. How come our schools are still vulnerable and we're having the types of incidents that we're recording in our schools? The second part of your question as to why we're seeing this number of occurrences at the moment, like I mentioned in my opening remarks, there are political factors, some of them domestic. The drums of the 2027 elections have already started beating. The dynamics, are at play. Political parties, we're seeing a lot of movement here and there. Governance, unfortunately, has been put to the back burner. And so gaps have been created that are being exploited by these non-state armed groups, 80 of them. And it's very easy for any one of them to be instigated by the political class to carry out this action. On the other hand, the weaknesses that have been created as a result of the absence of governance can also be exploited. The second one is the geopolitical element. President Trump issued a statement. Unfortunately, it has created a division within the Nigerian space, the umbrella of Organization for Christians in Nigeria, which is CAN, is supporting the statement. The Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs is not supporting that statement. We haven't seen much in terms of what government is doing to bring these two sides together. So that too is another chasm that is being exploited by the non-state actors. You have socioeconomic conditions. A bag of maize at the moment is going for 20,000 naira from almost 100,000 naira that it was like a year ago. Farmers who had invested in maize unfortunately cannot recoup their investment. So those grievances associated with the socioeconomic conditions are also drivers. Then you also have environmental factors. The climate change element that is moving people from point A to point B is also kind of leading to this. And then, of course, the security weakness itself. We have what traditionally should be a national security enterprise, a formation of almost about 42 organizations that should have responsibility for protecting us. But sadly, we seem to lay too much emphasis on the military. Every time we discuss these things, we only kind of highlight the role of the military. I'm delighted that you have a policeman there.
Absolutely.
Which is part of the first time I'm seeing the police discuss this issue. So these are some of the challenges where we're seeing an increase.
I find it actually very, very exciting that you talked about some of those issues, Dr. Adamu. And I'm also quite disturbed by the fact that the chasm, you said, has been created, and we all don't seem to see that the narratives we are putting out is contributing more to the divide than it is to the unity. But to the issue at hand, lastly, Mr. Abiodun, as at 2021, 2023, the governor of Niger State says the number of policemen in the state have continually decreased. And that probably also lays credence to whether the availability or sufficient number of policemen to anticipate whatever the issues could be that could arise from time to time. Do you see that as a factor in this case? And secondly, as we round off, Mr. Abiodun, how soon before we hear some final figures from the police about this issue?
Okay, thank you very much. It is not a news again that Niger State is the largest state in the country with the highest bus line. And we have 25 local governments in the state. But the number of policemen we have in the state, we are using what we have judiciously to police the state to the best of our ability. Nevertheless, this is a national issue. We've been having some of these issues. And recently, if you recall, we had a similar issue in Niger State where some of the students were also abducted in one of our community here in Tegina. And I think the government made a pronouncement as a proactive measure to avoid the occurrence where schools in vulnerable areas, some of our local governments that are experiencing some of these challenges, for example, Shiruro local government, in Rafi local government, parts of Puntagura, Rijo, Nasco, Mariga. These measures were pronounced that schools running boarding facilities should temporarily shut down and relocate some of these students to schools where we have schools that are in safe locations. And even some of the government schools in this area, for example, in Tegina, which is in Rafi local government, Pandugari, even in Shiroro, and parts of Mariga, Rijo, Nash, they shut down, and some of these students, or most of these students were relocated to schools where their locations are safe. So this is a proactive measure to prevent the occurrence, and this is a measure being taken by the government in collaboration with security agencies. And as I speak with you, some of these schools are still being shut down, and it does not mean that it affects the educational activities of our students. They were relocated to safer locations where they are still having their education.
Just to be clear, Mr. Abiodun, I apologize for butting in because we are really running out of time. I just wanted you to confirm that the number of policemen you said you are using, what you have, and of course, rightly so, you have to be as proactive as can be. But are you confirming the words of the governor that the number of policemen in Niger State is circa 4,000?
I think relatively we are more than that, now with the recent passing out of the last constables who were deployed to command, the Niger State Police Command received over 200 of them, which augment the capacity of the command. And from time to time, as part of routine in the police, we have transfer in and out. So the reasonable number we have is still helping. However, it's a routine in the police force. From time to time, you get more manpower to boost your capacity in the state.
Well, let me say that that's a political response to it, but thank you so much for your perspective. SP Wasiu Abiodun is the police PRO in Niger State, and we can only wish you the best and hope that you yourself will stay safe and do whatever you can to protect your men. And we've also had Dr. Kabiru Adamu, Security and Intelligence Consultant and MD CEO of Beacon Security and Intelligence. We appreciate your time, Dr. Adamu, and of course you can be sure that we'll keep on reaching out to you because the information you've given us are quite valuable. Thank you so much once more.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. One of the things that happens when there is an issue is that people want to run.
Yes.
But you have to be fit to run.
Yes.
Now, how do you stay fit? That people say they don't have time, you know, to exercise, to stay fit and all of those things. You don't want to register at the gym and all, but are there things you can do?
Yeah.
In your office?
In your home?
Even when you are cooking?
Yes, ma'am.
You know?
You can.
We'll talk about that when we return. No, sorry. Sorry. Did you see that? Close your eyes. Come on.
You know, it's part of it.
You know,
I mean, part of what we want to talk about now. You can even dance and be fit.
Just be moving.
Just move.
I remember a song by Chief Commander Ebenezer. If you can't dance, move your body. Bolejo, Shama. If you can't dance, it's okay. Just move your body. Like Tony, for instance. I don't know whether he can dance or not. Anyway, now, and that's why that song says, I can carry my body. You don't have to dance. Just carry
your body.
Anyway, so can you carry your body? And that is what this whole conversation is about now, because even though it is recommended that you should do X number of minutes in a month, I beg your pardon, in a week, as part of your exercises, some don't even do one. So they say, I don't have time.
Let's start with day first, before you do week.
So that is why we were talking about this daily 10-minute routine, which can be a workout, a stretch, whatever it is you're going to be finding out. Now, what's the advantage of it? Some say it can include 2 rounds of 30 seconds. Some say just make sure you don't spend... Our guest actually has come on this show once before to tell us that, look, don't spend 1 full hour, sitting down. Move from time to time. But let's get into the conversation. Joel Uzamere is here with us. He's a fitness coach and director of IREP, Institute of Registered Exercise Professionals. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
People say they don't have time for exercising. And really they don't. Spend 2 hours in traffic going to work. Spend 3.5 hours coming back. By the time you come back, you are tired. And spend 8 hours on the job. And
it's okay.
If anything, you spend... If at all you are able to, you take break of like 1 hour or stuff like that. That's for regular people. I'm not talking about people like you. Anyway, so help us. What are the thoughts here? What are the risks people run when they don't exercise, and what are the things that are possible that we're not even looking at?
Yeah, thank you.
I see that you come prepared.
Well, it's always great to be on the show first, and when we discussed, the idea for me was to just simply tell people or show people simple exercises that they can do in 10 minutes. Now, the reason why I mentioned 10 minutes is I've said on the show before that you could spread your workout into different bouts during the day, right? So that you're ready to go to work. You could do 10, 15, 20 minutes right before you get into the shower to go to work. We've said it many times, fitness is not equal to going to a gym. Fitness is not even equal to owning equipment, you know. As much as you have the ability to move, then you can actually ensure that you keep fit. Now, there are of course other principles that has to do with performance, meaning that if you want to increase a particular, you know, fitness aspect of yourself, you will need to push yourself a bit further, right? But what is lacking is this consistent exercise that people don't do. People don't take walks. People don't even sleep well. People don't eat well, right? And when most people give me their daily routine, nobody tells me about the 20 minutes or 15 minutes spent on social media. It's as though, you know, nobody's doing that, right? We just go to work and then we come back, and then, but if I should sit with you and we go through your day, you will find a series of, you know, 20, 10, 5 minutes that you actually have to move, right? And so I want to say this. One of the things that we don't do is we do not move because we don't see the immediate effect of the consequence of our not moving, right? I'll give you an example. If there was poison in, I mean, maybe it's a bad example, but let me just give it to you. If you were in a room, I think I heard this from someone actually, if you were in a room and oxygen was cut off, you know, in a few seconds, you will see the importance of oxygen, isn't it?
To that, there is something that I saw in the course of the week.
Yeah.
So I saw a sign where in a hospital, as somebody, someone said 10,000 naira per hour. Gas, 10,000 naira per hour in this particular hospital. And the question that came to my mind, and the person, and I did a quick calculation. God, 10,000 naira per hour, that's 240,000 or so per day. Now, if I had to calculate all of that in a month, how much is my pay? You know, 240,000 naira per day to breathe oxygen. But you do it normally, almost thoughtlessly.
And it's because at that time you're putting no value to it. If you found yourself in a place where you're losing oxygen and you begin to, you know, scream for oxygen, you will then know the importance of oxygen, right? And
not just of oxygen, of breathing.
Yes, I mean, that's the point, really.
The ease with which you breathe.
Before you know it, in minutes, you're gone, right? When there's no oxygen in the brain in 4 minutes, the brain is gone, is dead, right? So that's one example. I will shift a bit and I will go to maybe the importance, for instance, of eating or drinking water. If you don't eat in 1 day, you can be fine. 2 days, no water, no food. In 4 days, or in a whole day, 2 days, you will know the importance of water, right? The same water that we don't think is important. Now, why am I explaining this? The immediate effect of not breathing can be seen almost instantaneously, right? The effect of not eating can be seen in days. The effect of not exercising is actually seen in years.
Wow.
And what happens is you're already gone before the effect shows up. I don't know if you get the point. It's like when you plant a seed, it doesn't show up immediately. But by the time it sprouts and it's growing, it's grown already, right? And that is why people don't see the importance of that daily 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes workout, because they want the effect of the exercise now. But that's not how exercise is designed. That's not how our body is designed. What you need to do in exercise is consistency. That is the name of the game.
Okay,
right?
Please, let's start. We have just about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Let us start.
So, start what? Are you going to make us exercise?
No, wait first now.
I'm not pressed for that.
Don't worry, those of us who are...
I did not get the memo.
No, yes, on that, okay, she's not dressed for it. And women will always want to be as gaily dressed and all of those. No, I'm just saying.
Just appropriately.
No, I'm just saying. So you go to the office, you have to attend a high-level meeting, and it's going to happen for a whole straight week. But now, you need to sustain the consistency, but you can't really dress for it. What are the things to do?
You can walk around in your office. I mean, so I want to make this as simple as possible. There are a couple of exercises, right, that I had curated, I wanted to talk about 3 types of exercises: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. All these exercises, 10 exercises, and all of them can be done in 10 minutes, no matter the level you are. So each one with its level. But the point of this exercise is that you don't even need a big space. So the total amount of space you need is wherever your body can fit. So if you can lie on this floor, you can do all these exercises. So you have simple exercise that we all know. So if I mention it, people will know. You have squats, right? A squat is body weight exercise, right? And it is very important for movement. It's very important because all the weight of your body is on your knees, right? So squat is one of those fundamental movements that we do.
I'm curious. We need to get something, on you right now. I'm curious to know exactly what are the things that people do. You've talked about squat. Now, I have tried to do something. There's something that I hear. I hear that sometimes there is a need to do what they call jumping jacks. I don't know, for those of you who know what jumping jacks are.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you know what jumping jacks are? Okay. That when we say carry your body.
Yes, it's jumping. Anyway, that's jumping jacks.
You talked about squats. It's one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Is jumping jacks one of them?
Yes, but so, and that's why I'm sorry that this can't be just one easy capsule to swallow, right? Because there are some exercises that you shouldn't mention as one of the exercises to do. Jumping jacks is a bit eye intense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if somebody has a knee injury or they're massive or they're big, jumping jacks becomes a stumbling block to exercising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I said that the way I thought about it was to have beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
So let's start with beginner.
Yes.
So
what are those? So squats is one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Squat is not good for
So, but I have to demonstrate squats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So let me tell you why I do this. So when at the institute we also audit the gyms in Lagos.
Okay.
And one of the things we are talking to trainers about, or when we are in school and we are training our trainers, is to tell them the importance of posture. So let me say this to you. I've said this before, maybe some years back on channels. When you squat, this is not a squat.
Okay.
Okay? This is not a squat, obviously, right? Because there's something called anatomical planes, right? There's something called how the body is designed. God has designed the body in a certain way. Different joints can move in certain ways, and you cannot change those things, right? So, for instance, this is an hinge joint, right? So, for you to do that, you want to ensure that your glutes, right, go backward like you want to sit.
Right.
And then this part of your leg, the upper part of your leg, is the one that is parallel to the floor.
Okay.
Right? Not that you have the lower leg going forward.
All right.
So it's not a forward movement.
Right.
Rather, it's a backward movement.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And as you go backwards, your spine must always be straight. No matter the exercise you are doing, it doesn't matter what you do. Biking, running, jumping, your spine must always be straight, right? So if I'm going to do this now, I want to do this.
Right.
Right? I will need to do this.
All right. So you lunge forward.
You lunge, yes. So your bum is going backwards. So look at the knee. It's not doing this.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this is called greeting. It's not an exercise.
Yes, that's why it's so difficult sometimes.
Yeah, that's why you should greet your parents once in the morning.
Yeah.
Once in the night. That's it, right? So it should be backward.
Right.
Backward. Now the thing about this is this: if you do this squat wrongly, continuously, you are doing more harm than good.
So it's not this.
No, sir.
It's
that.
This.
That's better. Now, these squats can go deeper or lighter. So we can do this for beginners. Okay. We can do this as you get better.
Yeah.
Or we can do this as you get better. You see the difference?
Okay.
Posture is the same, but as you start, it's okay to just do things like this.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right? And then you get better.
That's for those who may have knee issues.
No. So if you have a knee problem, you will do isolated exercises. Sit up, let me explain.
Exactly.
So if I have a knee injury, for instance, then I won't be moving this when I'm exercising, because I'll need a physiotherapist to help me to deal with functionality in my leg. But when I'm functional, then I move to a personal trainer who will help me with performance. So if I'm a trainer and I know that you have a knee injury, what's going to happen is that I'm going to do what we call static exercises. I'm going to isolate the joints while you exercise. E.g., You can do the same squat by static. You can lean on the wall, right, and just stay there.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yes, so that way, what have you done to the knee? It's isolated. It's not moving up and down because there's an injury
And
there.
I must say that even that leaning on the wall and staying there, it's not as
it's
not as easy as you said.
It is actually not easy.
It's very hard.
It is a simple. It's you just.
It's you
simple. Yes, doing exercise variations in order to take care of a particular thing. So because we are trying to solve the problem of just moving the knee because there's an injury there, you do that, right? Okay. Now I've mentioned squat and that's important, and people also do lunges. Lunges are a type of squat, so where they go forward lunge, down,
that one.
and then they go back.
That one is hard.
Right, good. Now, but there's also a reverse lunge that you go back. But the point with lunges that I want to correct is that people do this, and then they go forward. So the difference now is that don't be on a line, be on a train track.
Right.
Oh, okay? And your foot should stay in its lane.
Yeah.
So if you're going to move forward, you move on the lane of that train track. So shoulders width apart. That means the distance between your legs should be the distance
of your
between your shoulders.
Yeah.
Spine still
yes,
straight?
Always straight.
Okay.
Right? And then you jump forward, and then you come back. Now, because of space, I can't lunge as much as I should, but the point is, you want to ensure that you're on that train track, and then this goes down, right? This is not a lunge. That's not a lunge, right? That doesn't have a name, right? So you want to do that.
Yeah.
The last one, and I've said it before, it's maybe you get yourself on a recumbent bike, or an upright bike, right? Always ensure that the seat is on your waist level, whether it's a bicycle or whether it's a stationary bike, right? So let's talk about other exercises quickly. Simple leg raises.
Yeah.
Simple. You know how many joints you are going for this way? 1, 2.
Okay.
And if you have to you can squeeze in the ankles, right?
Yeah.
Simple knee touches, toe touches, sorry.
So what do these address?
So the thing about the body is that it is designed to move. It is designed to move. So what you're doing is, for instance, if you're going to do this program, if you're a beginner, you can decide that you will do simple body exercises for 30 seconds, rest for 20 or 30 seconds. So let's say, for instance, you are doing the simple, you may think it's nothing till you do it with me, right? For the next, now if you're simply just doing this, spine straight, ensuring that you're breathing in and out, and you do this for 40 seconds or 30 seconds, and then you take a break for 20 seconds, and then you go again, and maybe you do it 3, 4, 5 times. Then when you are done, you change the exercise. Maybe arm rolls forward.
Yeah. And backwards.
40 seconds, 30 seconds will now look like 2 years.
Right? Actually, in broadcasting, 20 seconds is quite expensive.
Yeah, and you can do all that. Now, for people who haven't just starting and you don't know how to squat, you can hold a chair like this and do something like this.
Yeah.
And come back up.
Standing up and sitting down in your chair.
Yes, you are moving, right?
And you're moving how many joints there?
So, of course, you can literally count it yourself. This is 1, this is 2. And as you come down, look at my shoulders, look at my elbows, right? And then you bring it back up again. Always ensure that you're breathing properly, spine is straight, right? And then that's you moving.
There's literally no excuse, really.
You get the point.
You have a lot of things that you can use.
I tell my students all the time, not really. So you think you're not doing anything. Just stand and do calf raises.
Yeah.
Try it.
I've seen this too. Okay, I think I'll try this one. I'm wearing,
stay with me.
I'm wearing heels.
I have to be on a train track, right?
Yes, good. You're a wonderful student. Take it up. Good.
Seriously now,
Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
No, I can't.
Oh yeah,
I'm feeling what I'm feeling.
You are feeling what you are feeling, right? Keep going.
But my hands have to be akimbo?
You could be everywhere, anywhere. The point is, do you feel something in your calves?
Oh, yeah.
Are they speaking to you?
Yes, yes.
Right. So they're lifting the whole body weight, right?
Right, yeah.
Simple stuff like that, right? Stop, and you'll feel blood rush down,
yes.
right? Aha. So you've not moved anywhere. There are no equipment anywhere, but you are exercising.
Yeah.
So imagine we do this. Please sit down. So imagine we do this every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Now, people say, oh, I'm very busy, I'm very busy. Let me say this to you. I'm also busy. I run the Institute of Exercise Professionals, right? And I have another consulting business that I do. I'm not always in the gym. It's easy for someone that is working in the gym to tell you, keep fit. You know why?
Yeah.
That's all they do. Right? But when you work, you see that you need those bouts. 10 minutes. You take the excuse of taking a walk. You're on the call. I've seen you do it many times. All your calls, you walk. Do you know how many steps you will just gather from doing that, right? So this is the point. See the importance of exercising. Know that it's a long game. Be consistent. Because life happens. You will have a routine, you are doing well. Life will just happen. You have to go to Abuja to do something. Or something happens, and then your routine is scattered. The point is, while you're there, in that hotel room, walk around that room. Just keep walking around. Lift your legs up. Go on the bed. Do like a bicycle kick on the bed. Calculate your time. Do 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then go and shower. Next morning, do it. And when you have the time to then go to a gym, you then take that opportunity, right? When you have the time to walk, you then take that opportunity. But when we make exercise a part of our lives, then we'll see that we'll be more consistent. Now, of course, I've said the fastest way to get to a location today, I say it to my students a lot, you can walk to Abuja. You can ride a bicycle to Abuja. You can take an Okada to Abuja. You will get there one day, but you can fly, to Abuja. The fastest way to fly to Abuja, I would say it for free, is to speak to a certified IREP trainer. There are people who are EQF qualified, who people abroad recognize, and they are training people abroad. Why we that are here, we're not using these people. Nigerians who are IREP certified, personal trainers, fitness trainers, these are people who know what they are doing. They can create programs for you that will be bespoke to you and will improve your fitness level.
Please, give us an understanding of the need for that bespoke. And I'm asking this not, I'm asking so that people know that sometimes you have a condition or a nature that requires something out of the ordinary or the normal.
Yes.
You've spoken about, for instance, someone who has a knee issue.
Yes.
Sometimes they may not even know that they have a knee issue. I have experienced something. I was just starting out in exercising.
Yeah.
And I was doing some basics. Guess what? I fainted.
This before.
You just passed out.
It wasn't faint, but like, I was losing breath.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't know. In fact, when I experienced that and I sat down, the guy was saying that I'm not the first. That I was a man who looked every shade of fit.
Yeah.
Has big muscles and everything.
Yeah.
Next thing, the man hadn't done 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the man passed out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, he looks fit. Say yes. There's a difference between look and
what it is. Yeah.
So give us an understanding of the need for that bespoke.
Fantastic. I think that's a wonderful question, because one of the things that a certified trainer will do first for you, right, is to find out your fitness level. There's something called a physical activity readiness questionnaire. It's called a PACU form that we are insisting now, with in partnership with Lagos State Safety Commission, to ensure that all gyms have that form when you are going in there.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that, but let's come back to those. Now, that person already knows his onion, and so you will fill that form. There are indicators in that form that lets him know what you can do and what you cannot do. Even if you brag, some people tell you, I used to play football when I was young. The trainer is not waiting for that. He's assessing you. And then it does 5 kinds of assessment for you. Why? Because you're health related. It will check your VO2 max. That is how well your body is taking in oxygen and using it. It will check out your muscular strength, right? That is how well you can lift one weight in 1 repetition. It will check your muscular endurance. That is how well you can lift weight till you get tired. It will check your flexibility to see your range of movement, whether there is danger of having a strain or an injury while you're exercising. Then lastly, it will check your body composition, meaning your fat level. It will check your visceral fat, meaning that you can look like me and you are not fit. Whereas you can look like me and you're fit, and someone else can look like Arnold Schwarzenegger and they are not fit.
Yes.
That's something
The
you need
old
to understand.
Arnold Schwarzenegger or the new one? Don't answer that question.
Okay, good. Because that's age. And whether you like it or not, because that guy wasn't on steroids, he's aging better than most of them.
Absolutely.
All the guys that tried to do what he did are all, gone. So the point I'm making here is that that's why you need that bespoke. You are unique. You are unique. That's why I was talking about the squat. And you see, I gave you different variations of the squat. There's deep, there's, and then there's the assisted chair.
Right, time is up. I need to, we need to go, but I want to quickly ask you this question. Is it true that when women reach a certain age, that it's difficult to lose the weight? But what can we do?
That is a lie.
Good.
When you reach a certain age,
like maybe you cross your 40s into 50s.
No. I have a student, she's almost 60. She's in the gym every day. She's now a personal trainer, right? And she's trying to encourage older women to do that. If you are older and you want to lose weight and all that, hit me up. I'll give you a number. She knows what she's doing because she's trained, right?
That's a lie.
It's a lie.
That's
it's a lie.
Thank you very much, Joel Zamere, Director, IREP, Institute of Registered Exercise Professionals. He's also a fitness coach, as should be expected. Thank you again.
Right, thank you so much.
Thank you for always having me.
I hear that music is, I think I've said it before now. I don't know the kind of music that is going to precede this next conversation, our home run, but then that's what's next when we return. The love for Nigeria is so consuming.
Yes.
Like, in spite of all the noise that people make about this country, you can't find people deny the love. Anyway, and one of them is whom you've seen on the screen the other time. You want to bring her in?
Yes, our artist for the week. Mm-hmm. You just heard her sing, beautiful. Really, I love to listen to her whenever she comes on. Abiodun Koya, a Nigerian-born classical and operatic singer based in the United States, has spent 2 decades in the entertainment industry. Now, entertainment, you will say, an opera singer. It's not everybody that listens to opera, but when you do, it's just a few people that, love to listen to opera music.
Yeah.
And, when you get those people, you know that these are unique.
And some people don't have a choice.
And some people...
Who are those people?
People
you go to any Baptist, Anglican, Methodist, Catholic. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good
Great
morning.
to have you again. It's always a pleasure to have you
Thank
on
you
the
so
program.
kindly. Thank you
always
so,
a pleasure
so
to listen to you, honestly. And so you've been in this game 2 decades already. Wow. How
2 decades?
Yes.
Actually, a little bit over 2 decades.
Yeah, well,
officially 2
officially
decades.
2 decades. And how has it been? You stayed with this genre of music, and sometimes it could be difficult to stay with a genre that you believe that is not all over the place. People are not jumping up and down. Your crowd is your crowd, right? But how has the experience been?
First and foremost, I'd like to say I'm more of a classical crossover singer, which is more like Andrea Bocelli, what he does. So like in the US, I get teased that I'm the female version of Andrea Bocelli, which is a fantastic compliment. As a matter of fact, I have plans to bring him to Nigeria at some point for a concert. And so it's been a journey. I've never really done anything else outside singing, which has also been a blessing. I mean, I've explored other creative aspects like acting, writing a book, directing shows and plays, and I'm about to launch my fashion line. And so I'm just a creative all over, and I've really enjoyed doing that. And sometimes I've felt like a scientist, just mixing chemicals, experimenting to see, I'm a curious soul. So, but one of my new projects that I'd like to do going forward is to juxtapose Nigerian folk songs with orchestra music. One of my big supporters, Uncle Shegun Odegbami, was just telling me yesterday about a legend from Nigeria, Ambrose Campbell. And he encouraged me to look, at his music catalog. And so I've been so impressed. So, but imagine mixing Yoruba folklore into classical tunes and all that.
That's
singing in my mother tongue.
That's interesting, actually, because Ambrose Campbell is one. You may have also heard of Art Alade and Akin Yuba.
Yes.
Those people were also operatic, but I don't know whether they did it the kind of way you did. And they also had this fusion. Maybe this crossover thing is actually in your blood, because they also had this fusion of African percussions into opera music and all of those things. But, of course, you couldn't only have stayed with this for 20 years. You've been singing to kings and presidents and queens all over the world. When did that start, and how does it feel to get that invite that you're going to go to that level to perform?
I didn't even know. I just knew I wanted to be a singer. I didn't know it was going to get me to the White House and the Madison Square Garden. When I got to the United States, I was so taken aback by the warmth and the hospitality of that country. And, you can be an immigrant, and then you can be anything else you want to be, And so I was gracious, and I said, how can I give a gift to the United States? Oh, I have an idea. I'm going to learn the national anthem of the United States. And I learned it, and that was what opened the doors for me. That's what got me to where I am today. So I started getting invitations because by the grace of God, I can sing the Star Spangled Banner like no man's business. Like, wake me up at 4 a.m. I just need to
sound check.
Sound check, mic two, and maybe have a glass of room temperature water, and I'm good to go. And I didn't even know it was a hard song to sing until people started coming to tell me So I think that's what really kept the invitations coming in.
But it's not just the U.S. you've sung for. You've gone to Ghana, gone to Senegal.
Yes, yes. Malawi, Liberia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Angola. Yes. I love anthems of different countries. It's just really beautiful. Yes.
I should borrow you my catalog. I think I have about 100 of them. Anyway, now, do you think Joker said something copiously earlier? Maybe just stated something that operatic music isn't so popular. But then I have also seen some pop musicians make a meal of it. I don't remember this guy's name again, something Douglas, that did a fifth of Beethoven and on pop. Some in the 80s. Did that. And then there are a number of other people who have done something similar, even though not so popular. So how important do you see operatic music as in any culture? And why do you think it should be embraced at a time when any belief is boring?
See, classical music, again, opera music is very intense and like the deeper version. So I always try to tell people there's a difference. It's still the same genre. So, but classical music is really feel-good music. Opera music is telling story, dramatically. Yeah. Even if it's like a love song, exaggerate. You do all that. But, classical music could be, wise man says, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. That's an Elvis Presley song.
Yeah.
But see how, and Andrea Bocelli recorded that. So you see the difference. But classical music is a feel-good song. It relaxes you. It's very, very magical. Even like they encourage pregnant women to play it for unborn babies, and that the theory is that the children would come out, the kids would come out smart. And I think it's true. I think it's true. I don't know if my mom played it. By the way, shout out to my mom. Yesterday was her 85th birthday. And I'm the baby. But when I turned 3, my earliest memories of listening to classical music in Ogun State was when I was age 3 with my dad. And I think I want to say I have a quite curious brain and mind, my in a way, you know, with all humility. So I'm saying I'm a product of that, you know, the effect of classical music it can have on you. It can reduce your blood pressure, you know, make headaches go away. Whenever I'm stressed and I listen to classical music back to back, I'm a completely different person. And I think it invites the presence of angels, the celestial beings, to come be with you, to come keep your company. Try it.
I didn't know that they had that kind of genre in heaven.
If there was any kind of genre in heaven, it must be classical music. Bingo.
Yes.
Well, let's not forget that all those gifts came from the same heaven. But you know,
yes,
let's
including Afrobeats, right?
Exactly, right? You know, but you know, okay, you wanted to ask a question. Well, you wait. Let me ask you one question. Did you at any point feel I chose the wrong field? I ask that because you know how popular pop music makes you and what kind of reward it could bring. So did you ever feel?
Never. Not even half a second in my life. 20 years. I have a lot of colleagues that have, they stopped and they went into corporate America, banking, architecture, medicine even, because, you know what I mean? So for me to have been there for 20 years and have made a name for myself, and especially representing Nigeria on the global field, it's been divine. You know, it's never my might or power. It's just been God all the way through.
Yes, and the conviction to stay in this lane. I mean, in what ways have you used it, you know, to help people, to help society? You know, they say music is therapy and all that. Have you ever ventured into that, to use it?
I'm really glad you asked that question. So over the years, I've had people come to me, and I'm literally at a social gathering singing, and they would come to me and confide in me and say, you know, Abi, thank you for singing that song. And they'll start crying. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And they're like, no, you don't understand. I literally was about to commit suicide. I'm suicidal and depressed, but your music gives me hope. And it's a reminder that there are beautiful things in this world. And so nothing can make me depart this beautiful world before my time. So, and I've heard that not once, not even 5 times, more than that. And I also have my nonprofit organization. I've created a program called Music Literacy Program, so where I go into underserved communities both in the US and here, and troubled youths, use music to distract them from being knuckleheads. And I'm overall passionate about incarcerated women. That's like my #1 humanitarian cause. And so when I go, I deliver lectures, I speak to them, I encourage them to have a plan for when they go out, when they're, you know, released. Don't just sit, you know, behind the bars counting the days. Have a plan, have an effective plan that will change your life. And then I use music to, you know, and that's always, you know, magical, like I said, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. So what are you doing to celebrate your 2 decades?
I'm in the country to put together a 20 years anniversary concert. It's a double celebration because next month is my 45th birthday.
Wow.
So it's going to be on my birthday, December 22nd.
Okay.
So, yeah, and so I'm having a concert.
That's on a Monday,
That's on a Monday.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be singing a bunch of holiday tunes and Yoruba traditional tunes like Elu Agogo, Dohon, and stuff like that. So I'm excited about this, and I've been lucky to have supporters and honorable individuals on the honorary planning team like General Ayovon, Mominike Art Gallery, General Basanjo, Obalake of Egbaland, Shegun Odegbami. You know, they've just really welcomed, all those people, they've welcomed me and just to support me, and so it's interesting, it's lovely.
You know, we could go on with you because you're sounding so operatic and classical and everything. We can only wish you the best. I'm hoping that one of these days, if you are able to, we'll be able to drag you in again to the studio to have a conversation with us, particularly about the music therapy part.
Yes.
You will not be coming as an artist, you'll be coming as a lifestyle guest.
Yes.
We'll bring you up on that one.
I love that, absolutely.
Oh, we definitely will, because people don't even know how important these things are.
Yes.
Right?
Speaking of that, I actually created a radio program called Hymsical. It's a 30-minute program of just, you know, sharing classical pieces and movie theme songs, and it's just curated. So it's on several radios. It's a new program, but it's on several radio stations.
For those who have been trying medicine and it's not working, maybe you want to try classical music. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
time
kindly.
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
Abiodun Koya, Nigerian-born classical and operatic singer based in the U.S., one of the very few professionally trained opera singers of African origin. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that's the show today. Thank you for the privilege of being a part of your morning these 3 odd hours. I'm Ayo Makinde. Do have a blissful weekend.
And I'm Joke Rogers. Bye. See you next week.